Blue Angels make way for Black Knights. Army marches on the home field of rival Navy, playing for a spot in championship weekend, a place the Black Knights haven't been in almost a generation. Penn State got to the national semis in 2019, then endured a couple of losing seasons in 2021 and 2022. Chase Mullins, the North Carolina transfer at the dot for Penn State. 𝐂𝐿𝐇𝐀𝐌𝐏𝐿𝐿, top 10 nationally in face-off win percentage for Army. And Army controls the opening draw. They go to work on offense. School record 13 wins for the Black Knights. Joe Alberici, their head coach, telling us, playing at Navy, but not playing Navy. He said, I'm more ease going into Annapolis than ever before. Reese Burrick, he's Army's leading scorer. Big McCullough, 29 in black. Started on attack last week, had a couple of goals. This is Gunnar Fellows, fires and scores! A hat trick in round one, and the Black Knights strike first in the quarterfinals.
Fellows, curling right-handed, gets to the middle of the field without the double team. He's fearless, he's strong, and the freshman from Colorado has picked up after a 3-goal effort against Maryland.
Penn State in round one rallied from 7-1 down to upend Princeton. Their fourth win against the Ivy League this season, having already beaten Cornell, Yale, and Penn, making Penn State the de facto Ivy League champions. Penn State with its first offensive possession. Goal for Army, Knox Dent, Patriot League goalkeeper of the year. The moniker Fort Knox is apt. He has been sensational down the stretch after it was feared his season could be over. Here's TJ Malone, Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. Good defense by Army. Malone dumps it back, shot. It's off the stick of Matt Trainer, Jack's younger brother, saved by Dent. And now Army comes the other way.
An easy and clean save by Dent, the senior. Denver, Colorado is a 3-year backup. He's playing with a knee brace. Late March against Loyola, he tore his knee up severely, missed 2 weeks. He's back in the crease with those high-top, old-school black cleats.
And goal for Penn State, Jack Frassie, an Annapolis native. He was the top goalie in the Big Ten. Two stalwarts in the cage. Here comes McCullough. Back out to Fellows, marked by the freshman Alex Ross. Now Ryan Sposito. Sposito maneuvers, draws the slide. Here's an opportunity from the wing by Burrick, turned away. Army with the backup, closest to the ball when it goes out of bounds on a shot, awarded possession. Fellows from the wing, pulls it back. Frassie denies the angle. Penn State has to get it across midfield before the shot clock hits 60, and they do. And the ground ball picked up by the Nittany Lions. Penn State 2019, one of the great offenses we've ever seen. They got the championship weekend for the first time. 2020, preseason #1. COVID cuts the year short. The last 2 years, only 7 total wins. Now back in the quarters with a chance to get to Philadelphia, where a big alumni base awaits.
These early possessions about everybody getting a touch. Defensively, you're gauging matchups. That is size, speed, quickness. Trying to settle in.
Trainer working against the short stick. Makes his way through, ambushed, and off the ground, it's Army.
Army's calling card is their defense. That's what they do best. They've got some length, they've got power, they've got exceptional athletes at the midfield defensive position. They don't want to double team. They're not complex in their slide and recovery patterns. They play you straight up. They're going to get out and cause havoc.
Different goal scorers in round 1 for Army. Evan Plunkett, born black, top freshman in the Patriot League. Wing shot and a score. It's Jacob Morin. He was telling us he grew up a hockey player, and that's the origin, the genesis of that underhanded shot. It's so hard to stop.
It starts with defense. Triple team, they clog the middle. The shot doesn't even get to Dent. And then watch the lefty from range. He's got wrists, he's got hand strength, he's got confidence. He's a captain, and he's the one that came up with the moniker, Keep the Change.
We talked to him this week. There is a quiet confidence on this Black Knights team. No shortage of leadership. When you enroll at West Point, they lost so much from last year. They've had to deal with injuries in the fall, during the season. Next man up all the way, and there's Army off the ground, Deacon Donaldson.
There were no expectations for this group preseason, quite honestly, nationally. They lost 19 seniors. They lost Brendan Nichtern, who was the best player in program history, you could argue. All no names. There's no top 100 recruits on this roster, and yet somehow they've continued to
They
improve.
failed to advance here, though. Penn State's got a chance, unsettled. Here comes Malone. Over to Winkoff, the Binghamton transfer. He lost it, and it's picked up by Eamon Murphy. Now Army's got to run out the other way. Ryan Nixon, the long pole. Nixon over to Fellows, had the wing, instead he slams the brakes.
Black Knights, not a transition offense. They can sting in transition. Meanwhile, Penn State, I think, needs to come up with some goals into this game on runouts off Fracion saves. They've got to score in transitions because Army's defense is too locked down.
Zero and black, Bailey O'Connor, first line midfielder, back after missing last week. Here's Plunkett. Dumps it back behind the cage. O'Connor never saw it. And a turnover by the Black Knights. Penn State with the ball going the other way. Brent McVicker, 9 and white, triggered that. And Jeff Tambroni did some tinkering in the offseason. Quint, he was against the transfer portal the last 2 years. Went in, added some key pieces. McVicker as a D-midi. Winkoff certainly the big one on offense.
I think initially he felt an obligation to the players and the families on his roster to kind of honor them. And you look around the Big Ten, teams like Ohio State, Maryland specifically, torn out of the portal, Rutgers, and to keep pace, they targeted 4 guys, all specific needs, and it's been a major upgrade.
Great matchup here. Malone against Pilot. Pilot, one of the best defenders in the Patriot League, one of the best in the country. Here's Winkoff.
Where can Penn State win a matchup? And if they can't, you're going to see some picks, like right here.
Costin using the pick. Rolls back inside, denied. It gets past Malone. Malone against Pilot. Malone gets free to the cage and scores!
That's an icebreaker. The impact of ground balls. The one-on-one battle for the loose change. Malone gets it. Pilot, the lefty, overplays him on the perimeter. Great stick protection. Multiple fakes. Nittany Lions on the board.
Penn, after a win against Syracuse in round one, Army fell to Maryland in the quarters that year. They beat Maryland, the defending champion, last week.
Their motto, family, toughness, tradition.
Face-off violation on Army. It's first. Two-one, Army on top. This is Luke Mercer, 19 in white, part of the second midfield. Former top 100 recruit, all-state wide receiver in high school. And now Malone and Pilot. Malone won the matchup last time. Looking to get top side, denied. Dumps it back behind the cage.
Pick changes the matchup. Malone's got an advantageous matchup right now against the midfielder.
He's got the short stick Murphy. Malone, 2 goals, 4 assists in the round one win. Looking to feed the crease. It's on the ground, kicked away. It comes back to Mac Hobbs and Penn State. Shot clock at 20. Winkoff now picked up by Pilot. Here comes Mercer. Fires low and scores. 9th goal of the season for the junior Luke Mercer, and we're tied at 2.
Secondary contributions are gigantic in playoff games. Stutter step right there, and then a redodge. You don't have to be blindingly fast to be a successful dodger in lacrosse, but that shake, that change of speed, change of direction creates enough separation that he can release this right-handed. Dent was all over, I tell you, Knox Dent was all over that shot, Anish. Missed it by a whisker.
The whistle on the face-offs, warding off called. And it belongs to Penn State.
I tell you, Penn State's done a better job this year defensively. They've improved their goals against by, what, 3 goals a game under new defensive coordinator Joe Bucci. But they're clearing, riding. Their middle of the field game has been much better this year. There's less self-inflicted wounds.
Jeff Tambroni gave a lot of credit to two-way middies like Sickler and Aldridge. Penn State turns it over there. Sickler and Aldridge were 2 offensive middies who had to buy in into that two-way D-midi role. Finn McCullough, out of Fellows, who had the first goal of this quarterfinal. Brian Sposito, grandson of former Cornell head coach, the late great Richie Moran. Fellows, left hand free, too high, the backup by McCullough. McCullough last week, 2 goals against Maryland. He had only scored 4 goals prior all season.
He took Maryland's best defender to the rack at a critical time in that game.
Here's Penn State, Sweeney. Now it's Sickler. He's a threat in transition. Sickler zippers through the defense, lost it. A sea of black. It's Army off the ground.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
And now it's going back the other way. Carnage in the middle of the field.
The importance of ground ball plays, the the big GB in front of the Penn State bench, and their fan section got everybody up on their feet. Army counters defensively.
Second to midfield on for Penn State.
So far Penn State with 2 goals, both unassisted. Looks like Army's really slow to support a lot of matchups. Who can beat their man and get to the rack?
This is Mercer against Murphy. Now Malone.
The rollback is in play if they're not double teaming.
Malone against Pilot, dumps it off to 𝐂𝐿𝐻𝐿.
Like that.
𝐂𝐿𝐻𝐿 down the alley. Shot, kick save. Rebound to TJ Malone. New 60 for Penn State. Malone lost it. Trainer looking for Malone. Quick stick not there. And here comes Army. Army's last 4 possessions resulted in turnover. Fellows fires, whips it wide to the backup by McCullough. Good look there by Gunnar Fellows, the freshman out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado.
Fournier, 33 in black, finishing the rush. Kind of a trailer break, a delayed break.
We have not called Reese Burick's name a whole lot. He is Army's leading scorer offensively. Now Plunkett, the freshman. It will stay with Army. They say Fellows was closer with Ross just a nose behind him.
4 in black, Evan Plunkett, freshman from Roswell, Georgia, is a special talent. 7A high school football player, defensive player of the year as a strong safety. He's got over 40 points at the midfield for a plebe, for a first year. That's unheard of.
2020 midfielder who in high school, conference player of the year in football in a league that had just a boatload of future SEC bound players.
He made a play last week against Maryland, running through traffic. You could see his hips, you could see his acceleration. He's going to be a superstar at West Point. 4 in black.
Army's last 5 possessions have resulted in a turnover. Morin's got a left-handed hammer. One of the hardest shots in Division I. That's 90 in black. Here is Burick. Now Plunkett.
While last week the understudies, the cast, stood out for Army, 11 different goal scorers, this game to me, Anish, is more about their stars have to produce.
The usual suspects. Shot clock at 20. O'Connor against the shorty, looking for Fellows, throws it away. Another empty possession, 6 straight that have resulted in a TO for Army.
This game projecting to be lower scoring, okay? This is going to be a 60-minute dogfight. Possessions will matter, yes, but you just got to keep hammering. And both these teams have shown that ability this season. They played in a lot of close games. They've played in a lot of 60-minute games.
All of Penn State's losses decided by 3 goals or less. Army's 3 losses decided by a total of 4 goals. A timeout by Penn State and to Jeff Tambroni with 1:17 to go in this opening quarter. Those are 2 impact players, but the severity of the injuries. TJ Malone, 2 torn labrums in his hip, sports hernia. Jack Trainer had to have both his legs cut open due to compartment syndrome. Painful condition where there's too much pressure within the muscles.
Army defense now in a zone for the first time. We thought it was Penn State who might whip out their zone defense, but Army off the timeout changes things up.
Costin over to Malone. Bounce shot, Costin scores.
Situational awareness, really impressive coming off the timeout. Army throws him a curveball. they dig in and figure it out. It's the other Jake Morin. We got a game here with two Jake Morins, one on each team. He picks up the assist. It's Kostin who settles in the soft spot or the bubble. The double team drawn, you spin the ball against the zone. The defense has to rotate slightly, and the inside player will find that soft spot, that bubble, and he's able to catch and release. Kostin, a former player for the Utah Utes.
Now in his third season with Penn State, Mr. Gambini. Kostin coming into the game was 1 for his last 14 shooting. That's Sam Sweeney, 3 and white off the face-off wings. Final 30 seconds of the first quarter. Penn State 3 unanswered after Army scored the first 2.
I think
Jeff Renfleck, 8 and white.
Played well off the bench last week in that win over Princeton, but I think the teams will settle in now. Huge crowd here, beautiful day.
Here's Matt Traynor, gets crunched, got rid of it, and scores. And 1.
Oh, this one's hard to believe. This ball barely crosses the goal line. Traynor, the younger brother of Jack. Talking about Army's defense, slow to double team on the perimeter. Man, he takes it right to the center of that defense. Pays the price here with a bunch of stick checks. He's floored. And look at that. Ball just trickles in, a changeup. Pass knocks Dent.
Traynor, the youngest of 4 brothers. Jack, a starting attackman for Penn State. Older brother Tripp played for the Nittany Lions as well. Final 5 seconds. Here's Hawes off the wing. Quarter number 1 in the books. Penn State closes with a 4-0 run. The Nittany Lions know what awaits them in Philadelphia, a big alumni base. Jeff Tambroni, Joe Alberici, Magic Wits. Still a lot of lax to play. 4-2 after 15 minutes in Annapolis. Close the opening stanza.
Biggest concern for me right now for Army as they win that face-offs. Will they lose 4 in a row there?
Penn State's sizable face-off advantage in that opening quarter, 5 out of 7.
And Will 𝐂𝐀𝐌𝐿 and Army will need to win that matchup.
𝐂𝐂𝐊 better than 60%, top 10 nationally. Army's last 6 possessions of the first quarter all ended with a turnover. First midfield on for Army, Plunkett, Morin, and Sposito. And this might be another turnover. Army's been sloppy. Over and back. Penn State off the quick restart. Hawes has a trailer. Sickler is there to can it. When we asked Jeff Tambroni about Mark Sickler and Kyle Aldridge, he gushed, glue guys. They are a big reason Penn State is playing in this game today.
Tiny errors make the big difference. Credit Penn State for being restart ready. Showing the ball to the official, Sam Sweeney. They flow from defense to offense. Anish, as you said, whether it's Haas, Sickler, Aldridge, or McVicker, their defensive midfield core now dangerous. They turn that restart, much like Maryland did last year on their way to a national championship. Those moments, those gray area moments in the game, they convert.
They pounce. Mullins and 𝐂𝐂𝐊𝐿 back at it. Army scoops. It's Pilot. Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year, just a sophomore. Now we talk about Brendan Nichtern leaving Army. They lost Marcus Hudgens, their top defender from a year ago, in the transfer portal to Ohio State. Zito goes to work on the shorty, dumps it back to Plunkett. Plunkett snakes inside, stick check from behind, it's knocked away. Ryan O'Connor, the freshman, with strong defense.
Right-handed wrap check by 42 in white. Good-looking freshman, 6'2". He's got some wheels. It's a great duo between Sweeney, the veteran from Gonzaga, and O'Connor, the rookie.
Johns Hopkins, Notre Dame. The last quarterfinal game. That comes your way after Penn State Army. Winkoff against Donaldson.
If you're a ball carrier for Penn State, you're dodging to the net with an intention to get there yourself. You're not dodging to feed because Army is not sending double teams.
Officials called that timeout. Jake Morin had the inside roll, gives it up, and right there for the easy dunk is TJ Malone. 6 unanswered by the boys from State College.
Huge Penn State contingent in Annapolis this weekend. They were swarming all over downtown last night. Chance of We Are in Annapolis Harbor. Army finally does send the double team. Watch it right there. And they leave a man open in front. Really great awareness by Morin.
Joe Albarese wants a timeout. Penn State shooting 6 of 9 early on in this game. And Quint, some of these passes, it reminds you of what you saw in 2019, where the extra pass, the precision pass, was in the DNA of this offense. Nittany Lions roaring and rolling early. Hopkins or Notre Dame.
No surprises. I do want to congratulate Michigan for their breakthrough season. And Georgetown, after an 0-3 start, putting things together and making some noise in May.
Army needs possessions that result in good shots. And last week they relied on a lot of guys who played scout team at points this season. They're going to need their stars to step up today. That's Burek, that's Plunkett, Morin, who's got one of the 2 goals. This is Tangretti, or rather Cal Lambert. Now Burek from X, lost his man, turns the corner, Frassian denies it, and a man down. That's Jack Posey, the senior captain and Penn State's top defender. He is down and clutching that right leg.
This is really, really unfortunate for Coach Tambroni and this Penn State team. Posey's the #1 cover man on this roster. A senior from Freedom High School in Virginia, a guy who's been a self-made player. Okay, he shows up at Penn State with not much hype. 4 appearances as a freshman, 5 appearances as a sophomore. Last year, he comes of age, and the righty playing a hard-nosed brand of ball this year. He's super aggressive. He's known as one of the toughest man-for-man covers in the Big Ten. He has been ruthless on the ball, and you just hate to see this.
I asked one Big Ten coach this week, how do you best describe Jack Posey? His response, stone cold, old school. And you hate to see it. That is a critical injury. It's a senior.
And very significant. Hey, he's their #1 defender, okay? All of a sudden now down low, you got a freshman Alex Ross, 6 in white. Kevin Parnham, a sophomore. You bring in Will Costin, 28. Not as much experience. And it'll be interesting. If you're Jeff Tambroni, you've got that zone defense in your back pocket that you played last week against Princeton. Without Posey, you may be more inclined to go there faster in a game. Although right now, they're winning the matchups against Army on the perimeter.
You hate to see it for anybody, especially a senior, a captain. and one of the best players on the field. And now, Penn State offsides.
There's a window here right now for Army. There's a little emotional window. When you lose a valuable teammate, there can be a lull. Army's got to find a spark on offense. They got to win a matchup. They got to move off the ball better. They're standing around stationary, watching a ball carrier. They got to circulate. They got to rotate. They got to move. Get the ball moving.
Big check there by Sickler. We get a loose ball hold. It's against Army.
It's the right call. The Army player down on the ground held the stick of the Penn State defender.
Ethan Long wanted a call.
Great ground ball play by TJ Malone. Young attackman. Man, get on your horse. When that ball crosses the midfield line, you're the help man. And Malone front swings there and bails his team out. Really smart play, showcasing his speed.
Early on, it looks like what Penn State will do defensively, Sam Sweeney will bump down from long stick midi to close defense. Mercer on the invert. He's got Morin trapped. Mercer turns the corner, lefty bouncer. And a rare miss by Penn State. They've been on target and finding the back of the net early on. Another timeout on the field. Army calls it. On ESPN2. Monday's championship will be on ESPN. For more information on the 2023 Men's Lacrosse Championship, visit NCAA.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. 6 unanswered for Penn State. Mercer's got one of them.
Army stays in their man-to-man defense.
There's Jack Trainer, Penn State's leading goal scorer. Now Long, who had 5 goals last week, behind the back feed. And it rolls across the crease, and Fort Knox able to clamp it. Army's gone more than 15 minutes since its last goal. In that span, only 4 shots and 9 turnovers.
It's a nice check by John Sullivan, big number 99. 6'4" freshman. Army's got Deacon Donaldson also down low, 6'6". Great wingspans, length, and range at that close defense.
This might be a matchup. Burek against the long pole, but Ross a freshman. O'Connor was setting the pick. And that one hits the skirt of the net off the cross of the freshman Dawson Clark. He is a zone buster if Penn State elects to go back to that. Here's Hawes, he's got an assist.
Nice clear by Penn State now. They're taking care of the mundane plays in this game.
Duke gets the winner of this game next week in Philadelphia. Blue Devils the #1 seed. Jake Morin now, no relation to Jacob. Morin against Mazer. Donaldson matches up on Winkoff. Looking for Morin, who's got to retrieve it in the corner. Shot clock at 25. Winkoff over to Brent Fleck on the ground.
Get it going your way.
Shot clock dips under 10.
Get this loose ball going your way to space.
Stick on the ground. Army now trying to clear. Nixon looking for Dent. It's picked off. Winkoff, feet in front. Oh, Haas catches that. It's a goal.
Nice.
Donaldson had it momentarily. Penn State looking to ride it back. A tempest in the middle of the field.
Oh, baby. Oh!
No call, now a flag. It's going to be on Penn State. Army's got someone in front. It's Burek. Bellows a little late. Pup Buno, 44 in white. In there on close defense now for Penn State. Delayed penalty coming on the Nittany Lions. Plunkett, spin cycle. They'll go to work on Sickler. Plunkett rolls back. And it bounces off the second row of seats over that grassy knoll.
Welcome to Mayhem, the creators game, the tough game.
They get Buno, they get Trainer, and now for Army, you're looking at an extra man opportunity, and it's a 6-on-4 on the Black Knights, better than 50%. Morin and Lambert have been the EMO assassins all season.
Cannot hit a man while he is down on the ground. So having one knee constitutes being down. Door opens here for Army. This is critical.
Here is Lambert. Plunkett, Fellows, looking for mail on the doorstep, and Penn State comes away with it. Frassian fell down. Parnham looking to escape Fellows. Parnham lost it. It's kicked ahead. Parnham had it back momentarily. Oh. He still has it like a Roomba. And a timeout from Jeff Tambroni as the Penn State bench explodes. And not all ground balls are created equal.
That was great.
Two men down. Parnham like a soccer player dribbling through the entire defense.
Watch him zig, watch him zag. The lefty from the Pingree School in Jersey. Just deking this thing up the field. Ooh, little toe drag. Now he knows, coach, bail me out. I need a timeout. I need a timeout. Ooh, he's probably gassed. Look at him. He can't breathe. Woo, that was fun. He bailed out his goalie, who lost his edge and fell. Dealt with initial pressure, middle of the field pressure in the offensive zone. Coach smart enough to call timeout. Now they hand it over to TJ Malone to rag some clock. Army's got the designated backer. You see him in the middle of the field. Fournier, 33 in black, is going to double here.
Army still has the man advantage, and now even strength. Using the sub game, errant pass. Donaldson forklifts it out of the air. Stillings keeps it in bounds. It belongs to Army. Last touch, Penn State.
That's going to be frustrating for Jeff Tambroni, Penn State head coach. You don't need to hit home runs at this stage in the game. Singles will do with a 4-goal lead and playing well.
47 in black, Andrew Kelly. Senior captain, Charlotte, North Carolina. Coached up by Ryan Flanagan. Here is Kelly. He had a goal last week.
He was great last week. Fearless off the bench.
Against Aldridge. Kelly turns the corner. Now, Ryan Flanagan was telling me this week that he's the guy, stadium lights still on because of him. They had to tell him, okay, enough. It's time. Go home. Here comes Sposito.
Well, no one got to this game in East by surfing TikTok and Instagram all day. They put in the time and work against the wall, in the weight room, shooting on the goal.
Off the post. And on the rebound, Aldridge.
Frassian caught a break there, down on his knees. You hear that ping, and as a goaltender, you wait for the crowd reaction. There's that momentary, it hits the pipe. Which way did it go? If you don't hear the crowd go, ah, you're like, yes.
Exhale. The cymbals are only frightening if there's a chorus, right, Quint?
Ask Rodney Dumpson about that.
Matt Trainer, crease feed. 35 in black, Mazer. We liked watching him last week against Maryland.
He could play for any team in the country. He popped off the tape. You go back and you watch Army games, and I remember the first time we talked to Coach before the Maryland game last week. I'm like, Coach, who's this guy at 35, Christian Mazer? Only a sophomore, media PA. Was a high school Fogo. Man, he's got great feet and power for the position.
The big development for Penn State in this first half. Jack Posey, their top defender, went down with an apparent leg injury. Plunkett shot, body save. Rebound, Burek, and Army ends a long scoring drought, more than 20 minutes.
It's not pretty, but they'll take it. Burek, the junior from Fairport, New York, a very talented high school hockey player, and this goal looks like a hockey goal. The shot is made, get inside position, crash the boards, anticipate and expect the rebound before your defender does. And there's Burek. Catches that cleanly off of Frassian and lefty.
He had 4 points last week. 1 goal, only took 1 shot against Maryland. Came into the game leading Army in goals, assists, and points.
We zoomed with him, was it on Thursday? He is a law and legal studies major at West Point. I'm really impressed with his temperament, with his intelligence. Like, when you meet these guys on this West Point team, it just resonates different. You know, they're like leaders of leaders.
With all that goes on in the world, and often all that we see going on in the world, there's almost a sense of relief. We'll be in good shape if these are our future leaders. Malone pinballs off of Pilot. There's the double by Nixon. Morin shot offline, long to the backup.
Don't love that double. Don't love that double. Malone was not a threat there in the wing. He was moving away from the goal. Pilot was in good shape.
Here comes Long. Career game in round 1, 5 goals. And that's a turnover.
Make a final push before halftime if you're Army. Key 2 minutes here in this game. To win playoff games, you got to win the last minute of each quarter.
Plunkett against Buno. Wheels down the alley, 1:40 to go in the half. Plunkett gets to the middle. Feeds the wing, big shot, save. Frassian. Now Hawes to clear, final 90 seconds. First half, neither team has a timeout.
Great snag by Frassian. That ball was not on goal. He'll get credit for the save. If it goes out of bounds, it's still Army ball. And then give Hawes, 2 and White, a lot of credit. You see his impact. The middle of the field, the clearing with confidence, with poise, running away from black jerseys. 2 and White's going to be a pro someday.
Grant Hawes, great lacrosse family. Brother Will won a couple of titles at Duke. Dad John was your assistant coach at Hopkins and went on to coach North Carolina.
Won a national championship for Washington College at the D3 level. A great man. Broken stick.
And Penn State off the scramble. Makes it 7-3.
Broken sticks have been an epidemic in D1 college lacrosse this spring. Defenders who insist on using lighter equipment. It costs teams on a weekly basis. I've seen it. I've been outspoken about it. Stick snaps, Mazur's got to run off the field. Defense is caught short-handed and off guard. All of a sudden you're playing with 5, not 6. That stings. You're gonna have to play with a shaft that's slightly heavier.
TJ Malone, 4 assists in round 1, 3 goals in the quarters. And we'll get a hold. It's against Army, so Penn State with a chance to tack on. Final 30 seconds.
Like in hockey, you can keep playing without that stick.
Not in lacrosse.
In the PLL, I think you can keep playing without that stick. Not at this level.
All the way! That one missed! Morin beat his man. 15 seconds to go. Stillings the other way. Running through the Penn State defense. Stillings. Trail check, well timed. On the ground. Sweeney, 5 seconds. Trainer over to Malone. He's got to put it on Cage and shoots it wide. It was 2-0 Army. Penn State closing the opening half on a 7-1 run. Morin, the fake, had the look, and just missed the cage. And then Stillings with an opportunity. Matt Costin, the trail check. Trail check denying a potential goal late in that first half.
The adjustments that have had to have happened are on Army's side here. Fix the face-off. Find a way to score a non-6-on-6, a non-half field goal. And then what are you doing in your settled sets offensively?
And for Penn State, one key injury in that first half. Jack Posey, their senior captain, their top cover guy defensively, went down with an injury. We do not expect him back.
And probe that. Probe that if you're Army. Attack the substitute. Take somebody else behind the net.
There comes Morin to Trainer. Bodies collide as Murphy and Morin clashed. Winkoff's got it. Marked by John Sullivan, the freshman. Costin dumps it back to Malone, who had 3 goals in the first half. Winkoff looking to get that right hand free.
When I asked Jeff Tambroni this week, what's one offensive key? He said shot selection.
It's been lights out so far. Hangman now for Penn State.
No maybe shots.
Malone looking to roll inside. Instead, he dumps it back. Morin shot comes to Malone. Snakes around the cage and stings it. 4 for TJ Malone.
Sensational. So TJ Malone, when he was 16 years old, 5'4", got injured late in high school his junior year, played a lot of JV prior to that. He was a late bloomer. Only look he got was Amherst. But then he blew up his senior year, and his head coach at Haverford, John Nostrand, picked up the phone and said, Jeff Tambroni, you got to come look at this kid, TJ Malone. TJ ends up at Penn State.
He did not commit to Penn State until after his senior year of high school. Last player in his class. In 2019, as a freshman running second midfield, he scored 30 goals. He was Grant Ament's understudy on those teams in 2019 and 2020. I can't tell you how many times Grant Ament has told me this kid's going to be a really good player. Injuries derailed his career the last couple of seasons. Fully healthy, he's showing the explosiveness, the burst. And so far, he's got 10 points in this NCAA tournament, 6 last week, 4 goals today.
He's a pro-level athlete. Hip labrum surgeries, 3 surgeries. Dealt with the doubt, the frustration, the uncertainty. This is his moment. Today's the day.
Largest lead of the game for Penn State. Army trying to get them back. Morin shot saved. McCullough closest to the ball when it went out, so it stays with Army. Shot clock reset. Here comes Plunkett against O'Connor, freshman against freshman. Now Bailey O'Connor for Army. His shot turned away by Frassian. Jack Frassian, sophomore from Annapolis. Local kid, his family hosted a get-together last night for a lot of the Penn State parents and alums.
That one stung him in the left hand. He's shaking it out. Grew up in Sherwood Forest here, which is a beautiful community right off the Severn River. He's got like psychic vision at times. I mean, his intuition, his instincts, his ability to make saves with his feet and body. There's no wasted movement. He's been clutch, and I think he gets better as games go on.
60% plus in his last 6 games. A hot goalie. Fournier was able to knock that one loose. And here's Mazur.
What are the answers for the Army offense?
Well, it's got to start, Quint, with turning possessions into shots, as simple as it sounds.
They missed Paul Johnson, with the junior attackman, out with a broken hand. He scored 3 isolation goals in their loss to Cornell. But he's a guy who could win his matchup. Right now, their ball carriers are struggling to win matchups. So you're seeing more picks so far in the second half. Penn State looks like they may be in a little bit of a zone here.
Bailey O'Connor, there's the slide. Fellows.
No, it's a man. It's just packed in pretty good.
Horn marked by Parnham. Fellows. Tough pass inside. Frassian there to clean up. Sam Sweeney, another kid who grew up just outside Annapolis in Edgewater. 3 and white.
Really impressed with this Penn State contingent of fans here at Navy in Annapolis. Their athletic director, Pat Kraft, on the sideline today. As emotional, as spirited a leader that I've seen at the college level.
He gets into it. Malone has the short stick matchup in Stillings. Malone spins back to his left. Draws the slide. Looking for Morin. Morin trying to escape a double team. He can't. Sullivan off the ground. Ahead to Stillings. Now it's Donaldson. Army pushing. Donaldson all the way. Bounce shot too high. Now you got the sense Army really needed that. Would have been a juice goal to get back into the game. Just 1 tally in more than 30 minutes for the Black Knights. And a turnover by Stillings. And that last sequence sort of sums up the afternoon so far for Army.
Back and forth.
And now Penn State gives it right back. Penn State's turned it over almost as many times as Army. Both teams have 14 turnovers.
What can Army do in the settled sets? You know, Plunkett to me, 4 and black, is their most explosive Dodger. He's on the pines right now.
Here comes Sposito. Now Burek. Tancredi, Sposito, fires, save, Frassian. Loose in front, Sweeney scoops it. Big race here, and it's Kelly and Sickler getting tangled. And that's going to be on Penn State. Shot clock reset for Army. They get it back.
The best looking half field set we've seen from Army all day in terms of ball reversal, circular passing. It was an inch away. They're onto something with this group.
Andrew Kelly, the senior captain, picked up by the freshman Ross.
Good matchup here for Army.
Burek's got a short stick Aldridge. Where does the slide come from? Now he's picked up by Parham on the switch. Good feed. Kelly's shot blocked. And there's Sam Sweeney, who's been terrific off the carpet.
Mini vac.
Malone 1 point away from his 9th 5-point game of the season. Here's Long. Splits the defense, fakes the shot, feeds the wing, and 𝐂𝐿𝐇𝐀 lost it. Dent out of the cage. Up ahead, Fournier. Penn State defensively has not yielded much in transition to Army. Army this time. Fellows bounces it in. Second goal for Gunnar Fellows. It's 8-4.
Turnovers in transition are stingers. Could be a 2-goal play. Gunnar Fellows pushing to the inside, leave no doubt. Now's the time to rely on those core values. Toughness on the field, toughness in the classroom, toughness in life.
They saw a violation against Army.
They read a book in the offseason, Anish. The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Well, there's clearly obstacles right here. But if you watch this team this season, you know it's 100% for 100% of the time. They're in for the full 60.
And often that sounds so cliche, it sounds so coach speak. There's something when it comes from a military academy that brings authenticity to it. Morin pinwheels off a defender, crease feed to Brent Fleck, and Dent with his biggest save of the game. Only the 3rd save for Knox Dent. Mazur maneuvers the sideline. Fellows 41 in black, 2 of the 4 Army goals, the freshman. Now, you talked about Plunkett. Here he is.
Plunkett's got a matchup with a short stick right here.
Plunkett draws the slide. Now picked up by Parham on the switch.
I would set a pick for Plunkett to try to change the matchup because I think 4 can be the party starter for Army.
Burek spins it back to Morin. Now here's Plunkett again. Fellows on the shorty Hawes. Hawes one of the top shorties in the Big Ten.
Look how solid he is, Anish. Look at his body positioning, strong cross-check hold.
Skip pass results in a turnover, but that was created by Hawes.
That was textbook by Two and White. And we talk about the teams with the great short stick defensive midfields. Well, next weekend in Philadelphia, a bunch of them will be there. It's an annual tradition. The team with the best shorties, see in championship weekend.
Yeah.
Because your defense is only as good as its weakest link. And if Grant Hawes is your weakest link, you're in good shape.
It's a solid complement of shorties. Winner of this game gets Duke. Duke's short sticks have been outstanding all season. McGuire, Charlie O'Connor, Jake Caputo, Aiden McGuire. A lot of two-way guys in there.
Jack Gray?
Gray, yeah. Here comes Brent Fleck. There's the double. Inside, Matt Trainer. Donaldson picks it up, but we're going to get a shot clock reset. Loose ball push against Army. So that's a new 60. Malone tries to get free of Pilot. Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year against Patriot League Defensive Player of the Year. Good ball movement, shot, save. And there is Dent to set up the clear.
2 gigantic saves from the senior goalie from Denver. He's got that fast mind, Dean's List. field artillery. And the next stop for him when his career at West Point is over.
He got hurt in the Loyola game. They feared his season was over. And they found out it was an injury he could play through. And he's played like an All-American as Morin fired that from the Tropic of Capricorn. But Penn State might have a run out the other way. Army milling back in retreat.
Army's got too many guys on the defensive side of the field.
They might have got away with an offsides.
You see that? You saw it too, didn't you, Anish?
Yeah, they had 7. They got away with an offsides.
The flag.
Now the flag comes in very late.
We got a bird's eye view here. Not quite like CQ Stadium at Maryland, but still pretty good.
Costin, left hand, to save Dent, and there should be an offsides against Army.
24, Army. Offsides, 30 seconds.
Good eye by Brian Abbott. Penn State coming into this game plus 10 in their specialties on the season. That is man up, man down, power play. However you want to phrase it. Now, if you're Knox Dent, you know you're going to be seeing some rubber here. This is a time to be a difference maker if you're a goaltender.
The two Trainer brothers, Jack and Matt, 10 combined man-up goals this season. 16 and 22.
Really pressing out to Malone.
Mercer. Now it's Brentfleck. Long, and Brentfleck play catch.
Winkoff's got all sorts of real estate. 48 and 1.
Winkoff's calling for it. They try to get the skip to him instead. It's inside to Matt Trainer. And the extra man opportunity results in a goal for Penn State.
Critical goal if you're a Nittany Lion fan, because Army opens the door with the penalty and you close it shut. Mission accomplished with the extra man.
It's a 5-goal lead for Penn State. It matches their largest of the game. It feels like so much more right now.
Reaction. The precision of that pass, I mean, it's right on the money. If you're Matt Trainer, the sophomore from Malvern Prep, and that's what you dream about. I mean, he puts it right in your stick, and so your eyes can then turn toward the goal, locate the goalie, and see net.
And that's what Army needed. Will 𝐂𝐀𝐌𝐿, the 11th goal of his career, the 7th this season. Sophomore from Monrovia, Maryland. He's a kid that can dodge a pole like we saw Petey LaSala do yesterday. He is a threat off of a face-off win. And if you're Army and you're wondering where does the comeback start, it starts at X.
Sophomore from Western Maryland, the Frederick area, Linganore High School. Okay, he's whistle ready. Now watch him sniff this out. His eyes are up. He's got enough wheels to beat that initial man. They don't respect him as a shooter. This guy's toughness personified. He loves the UFC, and he treats each week like a heavyweight fight.
A cage match.
So he trains all week with this moment, that wrestler, that one-on-one battle mentality.
Mullins jumped early. Face-off win for Army.
So you see Knox Dent, their goalie makes some stops. 𝐂𝐂𝐀𝐌𝐿𝐿's part of the comeback equation, absolutely, 10 and black.
He gives Army the ability to play, make it, take it. 𝐂𝐂𝐀𝐌𝐿𝐿 was the MVP of the Patriot League tournament. Set the school single-season record for ground balls. Tancredi shot on the run. Does not hit the cage. Bellows will dig it out. Less than 3 minutes to go, quarter number 3. Army led 2-0. It's been all Penn State since. Kelly down the alley against Aldridge. Kelly's shot turned away. Frassion clamps down in the crease. Penn State ball.
Sounded like it might have hit him in the helmet. Frassion, the sophomore from Bullis. Can't take your foot off the gas if you're Penn State. Shot clock era, not like it used to be. You got to continue to attack, continue to score.
Here comes Long.
And White was something else last week. 5 goals against Princeton.
7 shots. Malone's got the short stick Mazur. Malone 4 goals so far. There's the slide. Nixon knocked it out. Retrieved by Kostin. Shot clock into single digits. Kostin takes Mazur behind the cage. Kostin turns back. Question mark not there. Shot clock violation. Army ball. Quick restart. A minute to go in the quarter. 7 turnovers in the quarter for Penn State.
Penn State fans on their hands. Army fans are on their feet. That was the best defensive stop we've seen from them in the second half. Can they get something going? You got to give Penn State credit there, and you say getting back to the hole and denying transition.
It looked like Army might have a run out. Penn State really has only yielded the 1 transition goal that was off the 𝐂𝐀𝐀 faceoff. Shot clock is off. Bailey O'Connor against Hawes. O'Connor got hurt in the Patriot League championship game, missed the round 1 game against Maryland. Double teamed. Stays on his feet and scores! Out of the ambush, Bailey O'Connor with 16 seconds to go in the third.
You dig in with defense first. Great double team by Ryan Nixon. The anticipation. And then we're not going to quit. We're not going to quit. Bailey Connor, target hit.
Back-to-back goals now for Army after Penn State opened up a 5-goal edge at 9-4. 𝐂𝐀𝐀 and Mullins back at it. 𝐂𝐀𝐀 punches it ahead. 𝐂𝐂𝐀𝐀 through the defense, bouncer too high. And with 10.5 seconds to go, Army's got 1 more shot here to make this a 2-goal game. McCullough against Ross, looking for the cutter. And it rolls toward the sideline. It stays in bounds. Quarter number 3 ends. We go to the 4th quarter at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium. Penn State, 15 minutes from Philadelphia and a championship weekend. Does Army have another comeback? We'll find out. 9-6 heading to quarter number 4. Army, a little 2-goal run to close the 3rd quarter. Let's see if they can build off that. Will 𝐂𝐀𝐀 starting to get some momentum at the faceoff X.
This quarterfinal round, it's the payoff round. It's the dream come true round. You win, you advance the championship weekend.
I'm stealing your line here. Nobody remembers a quarterfinal loser.
Army's been resurgent now. I like the way they're playing in the last 5 minutes. Will 𝐂𝐀𝐀 can tilt the field in their favor? Can they tire out this Penn State defense?
And remember, it's a defense now without Jack Posey, Penn State's #1 cover guy, 2nd team All Big Ten. Left the game with a first-half injury. Morin! Low to high! That reverberates on the Army sideline. An absolute Hadouken.
The captain off the up top ISO, he just fades from the center to the wing, catches it in rhythm, And it's hammer time. Nobody shoots the ball like 90 in black. Jacob Morin.
O'Connor, who scored the previous goal with the assist. That's 3 straight for Army. Make it, take it. 𝐂𝐀𝐀 pushing through the defense, shoots. Body save, Frasian. It's going to go back to Army, Quint.
Not sure what the call was.
They said he grabbed the ball, put it in his stick. That's illegal touching. Here's a chance for Plunkett, and he was popping after that one. Knew that was probably one of his best looks today. A little different feel right now offensively for Army. Morin, left hand free, save, Frasian. Rebound loose, Parnham. And it's taken by Penn State and 𝐂𝐿𝐶𝐀𝐌𝐏, younger brother of Mac. Now the Nittany Lions set up the clear. Army does not press. 2-goal game. Plenty of time to go. Trip to championship weekend on the line. Winner faces Duke in the semis. Big save by Dent. Winkoff with the shot.
Oh, I do not like that shot selection.
And nearly a turnover. Donaldson's going to have to dig it out. He does. 6 saves now for Knott's Dent.
Okay, that's one on an outlet pass. If you're the keeper, you got to move your feet like a quarterback in the pocket. Create your own vision lanes.
Using the sub game, Sposito, nobody picks him up. Shot blocked.
Tell you, Penn State's defense is against the ropes right now.
O'Connor the other way. Penn State might have numbers. And Winkoff says, let's slow down. That's the message from the sideline as well. They're playing a lot of defense early in this 3rd quarter. Chance to get set up on offense, give the D a little break.
TJ Malone's been the guy all day. He's got 4 goals. Matt Trainor's had a nice game.
Jack Trainor, Penn State's leading goal scorer. Only 1 shot. Near turnover. Morin against Keegan Tracy, the short stick, the freshman. Morin, question marks, not there. Now Malone. Marked by Pilot. Place catch with Morin. Turns the corner on the crease. Somebody altered the shot, and it's going to be Army ball.
At the last second, you caught it, Anish. That's the 2nd time he's been dead center, almost empty net. But the trail check, I think, just deflected his stick, and that ball sailed behind the net with no backup. Can you feel Army's mental and physical toughness? Can you just feel it watching them play?
Plunkett inverting now. Reese Burek, Army's top scorer. Finn McCullough, one of the unsung heroes in round 1. Back to Burek, he's got his man hung. Frasian hedges out of the cage. Burek turns the corner, spins back, hits the crossbar, no! Sweeney off the rebound for Penn State.
Great move, amazing look. That's the 2nd big-time pipe shot we've had. That was a textbook question mark by Burek. Rattled that one off the far post down low. He changed levels, he did everything. Penn State looks like they're getting kind of conservative here, slowing things down.
Too much time left. Winkoff, the Binghamton transfer. 70 goals in his Bearcats career. Now Malone. Pilot stays with him.
They like that look from Malone with his straight line speed.
Mercer dumps it behind the cage. Long. Winkoff sets. Misses way wide.
Came out of his pocket funny. He's got a righty rip with his feet set.
That's usually a sweet spot from him on that left wing. Mercer chases it down. 15 on the shot clock for Penn State. Mercer changing directions. Now he's got the long stick. Donaldson, he's going to have to give it up. Looking for a cutting. Malone, saved by Dent. Fournier ahead to Mazur. Army pressing downhill. 9.5 to go. Quint, until the last couple of minutes, Penn State, even with a 3-goal, 4-goal lead, it never felt close. It feels close now.
Looks like Penn State sitting in their zone defense right now. Coach Tambroni sensing that his group on D may be gassed and winded, trying to change the tempo of this game. Zone offense so critical. Joe Alberici telling us Army practice it all week long, ready for this assignment.
It worked against Princeton, the zone defense. Penn State trailed 7-1 in that game. The zone got them back. Morin with that hard lefty shot as a zone buster.
He can be the outside threat.
McCullough. Costin got a stick on it. Morin keeps it alive. Shot clock dips below 15. Plunkett to Burek. Precious seconds ticking off the shot clock. Down to 4, down to 3. McCullough backhanded, no. 1 on the shot clock, and Army will have to dump this away.
Creative and artistic shot. That was the right idea and the right move by Finn McCullough. When you think about the elements of zone offense, good to have a quarterback, a Ryan Boyle type player, a Steele Stanwick type player. Great to have an inside player, say a guy like Jake Taylor at Notre Dame, someone who can find the creases and find the bubbles. And then have a Jacob Morin, an outside bomber. Guys like Mike Springer of yesteryear from Syracuse who can really stretch a D. And when I look at Princeton last week, they didn't have all those elements. That's the challenge for Army right now. Find players that can dissect and beat the zone.
Penn State, meanwhile, 1 for its last 9 shooting. Winkoff, right hand free, ends the drought.
This is a carbon copy of his game winner against the Tigers last week. A righty rip on the run that torches a corner. It doesn't get any better than a rip on the run. Huge goal for the Nittany Lions. Lefty cannon. Winkoff makes it a 3-goal game, but here we go.
Face-off violation on Penn State. Army's got it again. Army in this half has won 7 of the 9 face-offs.
Penn State now leaning on this zone defense. They're going to put this game on their goaltender, Jack Frassian, to make the saves from the outside.
Frassian's been lights out this season.
90 in black, the lefty is the stealth bomber from distance. He can rip it. Somebody's got to step into a seam and draw 2.
O'Connor a goal and an assist. Penn State stays in that zone, making Army work the shot clock from the wing. Yes, sir. Gunnar Bellows a hat trick. The freshman back-to-back hat tricks in this NCAA tournament. And the lead for Penn State down to 2.
Gauging, probing, kind of marking up what are the defensive splits? What are they giving me? And what kind of respect is this goaltender dealing with when Fellows nails one from 10 yards? Probably too much real estate. O'Connor with the assist. Gunnar Fellows is putting together a postseason for a freshman. Wow.
5 straight games with a goal for Fellows. Joe Alberici told us last week, this is a kid as a freshman, he's a leader.
A leader amongst leaders. If you're at a place like West Point or here at the Naval Academy. I will say one thing about that zone, Anish. We'll probably see it again here. You can't stand around. Zone defense doesn't mean stand there doing nothing. It means move your feet, play your man in your area. You've got support.
Donaldson could have picked that ball up. In the first 20 seconds of the shot clock, you can go over and back. Once the shot clock hits 60, it's a violation.
A passive zone is a crappy zone. You got to get out, get in people's gloves, impact the ball carrier, cover up on the inside.
McCullough, his pass sails over the head of O'Connor. Back out deep into the restraining area. Shot clock at 30, still plenty of time. Now Plunkett from the wing. Hits the crossbar. It belongs to Penn State. Sweeney closest to it when it went out of bounds.
Third pipe shot from Army today.
Difference in the game. Penn State offensively. Winkoff, the sweeping score for the 10th goal. You said it, shot clock era. You can't sit on a 2-goal lead with 5 minutes to go. So for Penn State to regain its offensive mojo, what has to happen?
TJ Malone, I like him off the pick and the front of the formation with a lot of greenery, a lot of space.
There's Malone. Now Winkoff. Morin inverts against Tracy. Morin slips, wheels it back to X. Winkoff tries to dive. It's picked out of the air by John Sullivan, the freshman.
I'll tell you, this next goal is gigantic.
Army's got to get it across before that shot clock hits 60. They might not. And they just do it. Plunkett turbining in, whips it wide.
They caught the defense napping. They hadn't set up their zone. Assignments weren't clear.
That's good recognition. Sometimes the best way to attack a zone, do it before they set up. Morin trying that low to high again. Off the signage.
Looks like Penn State's back to a man-to-man defense.
Remember, no Jack Posey. Penn State's top defender left the game with an injury. Army still without Paul Johnson, one of its top attackmen. Burek, bouncer, no. Johnson did not play last week after getting hurt in the Patriot League Championship. McCullough tries to turn the corner, and he somehow snuck it past Frassian. Army within one. It's the closest the Black Knights have been since it was 3-2.
Can you feel it? I tell you, Finn McCullough has no fear. Last week, he took Brett Maycar, Maryland's best defender, to the rack. Penn State goes man, and he runs the exclamation point. Beats his man top side, enough to clear his hands. The contact he initiated there on that dodge creates the separation. He leans in, steps away, and fires.
Q McCullough had scored 4 goals all season entering the NCAA tournament. He's got 3, and he's the guy that bumped up into that starting attack with the injury to Paul Johnson, who was a 28-goal scorer on the season. Game of many becomes a game of 2 for the moment. Fournier, another huge ground ball. He had a huge one at the end of the Maryland game last week in the near corner. Maryland had the ball down one. Fournier was able to scoop it up, threw it toward midfield, and time ran out on the Terps. Army out shooting Penn State 2-1 in this fourth quarter. Fellows a hat trick. More than 36 goals out of the midfield. Less than 3 minutes to go. Army's trailed most of the afternoon. Here's Morin, left hand free. Back up by McCullough.
Penn State in their man-to-man defense. Seemed like there was a little bit of hesitation there from Army.
Burek down the alley. O'Connor awarded the backup. Sickler picks up O'Connor. O'Connor dumps it back to Plunkett. Gets a step on Sweeney. Plunkett shot. And a Penn State player, might have been Parnham. It does not reset the shot clock. 9 to shoot, 2:20 left in regulation. Penn State's leading scorer, Burek. Plunkett, 2 to shoot. And now Army getting its defensive personnel on. 2:13 left. Penn State holds its ground defensively. Huge defensive stop by the Nittany Lions.
Penn State has one timeout remaining. This clear is imperative.
They can take this down under a minute with the shot clock differential. If you're Army, Quint, you don't have to press out.
No, and if you're Penn State, you're probably more comfortable with the ball behind the net, maintaining your field balance.
TJ Malone to Ethan Long, the hero from last week, 5 goals. Against Mazer. Long spins it back to Malone. Shot clock now at 12. Long fires, save Dent. A minute to go. Army's got it with a chance to tie. The Black Knights have 2 timeouts.
You're better off chucking that one in the corner if you're Penn State.
Knocks Dent out of the goal. Murphy, and let's see if Army uses a timeout. They do. You got to bring it into the attack box to call a timeout. And Joe Alvarisi calls for time. 39.7 seconds to go.
Straight man-to-man out of this defensive alignment.
Evan Plunkett, Patriot League Freshman of the Year, will start. Wheels down the alley. It's knocked away. Sickler had it for a moment. Plunkett regains it. He's doubled, now tripled. There is a flag down on the far side.
Wow, this was interesting because Army calls timeout. Felt like the whistle was slow, and then maybe the penalty happens. I think the Cadets may have caught a break here.
When was the timeout acknowledged?
Before
the flag or after the flag?
If it's a high hit, it doesn't matter.
That's true. And that's what Jeff Tambroni's saying. He's saying
this
timeout
play
was called.
Discombobulated. Nice stick in the passing lane for Penn State. Watch Plunkett right there. That's direct high contact. Non-releasable. Whoa, this thing just got interesting. Army's going to have the ball. Army's going to have an extra man for the remainder of regulation and then into extra time if we go there.
If Army is able to score on this extra man, they would begin the overtime period with a man up.
That is, this year they switched the rules to where there's a difference between indirect, direct, and flagrant contact to the head or neck area.
Indirect, 1 minute non-releasable. Direct, 2. Flagrant, 3 with a possible ejection. Penn State on the season have held opponents to just 27% with the extra man. Army, 52% with its man-up offense. Strength against strength, but remember, Penn State is without 𝐂𝐀𝐀𝐌𝐏𝐿, their top defender, who got hurt earlier in this game.
And earlier in this game, this Penn State man-down defense pressing out to 90 in black Jacob Morin, denying his outside shot.
Burek, 𝐂𝐀𝐀𝐌𝐏𝐿. Final 10 seconds. Here's Morin. He slips. Ball on the ground. 2 seconds. Time runs out on Army. Penn State headed to championship weekend. Hold on.
The ball's in the back of the net.
The ball's in the net. The clock looked to hit 0. This is a reviewable play. We have replay review. The Penn State team jumped off the bench. Ball went in. From the naked eye on first glance, it looked like time ran out, then the ball went in. And this can be reviewed. This can be reviewed. You can review the release of a shot at the end of a period as it relates to the expiration for the game clock or the shot clock. So replay review will get this right. It should get this right.
Ball has to be released by 0-0. Game over.
Yep. And now Penn State can celebrate in front of a large alumni base in Philadelphia. The Nittany Lions will take their redemption song to Philly.